Class is in session. All right.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch.
Why would that be the thing you'd say?
Because I learned it in university theater.
That's so creepy. Welcome to Unlearn 16. Class is in session today. Once again, we have Stacy Green Living. Stacy Green Living.
Yes, Joanna Johnson.
Is that your handle on all your social media accounts?
I really only have Instagram and TikTok, so yes, it is.
And Stacy Green Living it is.
You know what? Twitter, it's too long, so it's Stacy G Living, but I don't use it. So
You
there
don't.
You go.
We're going to come back around that.
I do not tweet.
We're going to come back to that in a second.
So yeah, Stacy Green Living.
Woo, so today, guys, we are going to talk about TikTok. We're going to do it here so neither of us get banned or shadow banned or yelled at or the weight of TikTok comes crashing down on us.
Yeah. I haven't been banned yet.
Woo.
Knock on wood.
Okay, so
It's all metal.
let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about how I started TikTok because I was bored. Everybody knows that. I was locked in my own house. I was completely by myself. And then I started lip syncing. Stacy Green Living, how did you start?
Can we just circle back to the lip syncing for a minute? Because when that started, Joanna,
So much fun was made of me.
prepared for that side of your personality. I was unprepared to see Joanna lip syncing.
Guys, I got calls from people I went to high school with that are like, "What are you doing?"
And we were like, she's enjoying it. It makes her happy. Just let her do it.
I had just gone through some traumatic life events.
Absolutely.
And I was finding solace
I was
in a little
unprepared.
Justin Timberlake. Maybe a little Pink.
Oh, it's good times.
I don't know why I didn't spin back around to Ani DeFranco because I feel
should
like
have.
that would have been my mantra then,
Man,
right?
You should have for sure. I didn't actually start on TikTok. I like Instagram. And when the pandemic first started, Justin Trudeau would come out every day and do a spiel. The same spiel every day, over and over, just different words.
Again and again.
The same words in different order. So one day I was home by myself and he was saying this thing, so I did my own voiceover to, one of his speeches, and I put it up on Facebook. And it kind of exploded on Facebook. It went moderately viral, and I was like, what the hell happened here? And then I don't know if it was you. It was probably you. You were like, put it on TikTok. And I was like,
Of course.
I don't have TikTok. I don't know what you're talking about. So I put up the clip that I had already made. I put it up on TikTok. So it was like the first thing I put up. And it got I think it got 200,000 or 300,000 something.
In a minute.
Right out of the
In a
gate.
New York
And I was like, is that good? I don't know.
Is that good?
But I had no idea.
My first TikTok, I was struggling for 10. I was like excited at 20, 30.
I had no
40
idea.
views.
I didn't get like a bunch of followers or anything, but it exploded, that little one. So I did like another one. I think I did two more of those, or one more or two more of those. Anyway, and then that was pretty much it for a good minute.
Oh, okay, but hold on, just so everybody understands. Like, when people talk to me about and Stacy makes fun of my lip syncing, guys, I put in the work. I'm sorry for those listeners because my ring just slammed against the table, but I put in the work. 3 TikToks a day, multiple versions of the TikTok
You were
to
committed.
get a fraction of what this individual sitting to my right got. So that's what I was doing. Like I was putting, so for you to say, nothing happened after that, it's because she then said, I'm going to take about a month break. And I'll think about unleashing my humor when I feel like it.
I just didn't, because on Instagram, I do not have a large Instagram following at all, but I feel like in Instagram, I can be very much myself because it's people who know me for the most part. So I was just full of just nonsense and clips and here and there. I wasn't prepared to, I thought I need to write a skit, right? I thought, I have to have something. I didn't think it would be the same thing. So I was like, I'm not really interested in skit writing at this time.
At this moment.
At this moment.
I will work up to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there I am slogging away doing three a days. It's like a friggin' workout. I was doing 3 days. And at some point you're like, okay, like every once a month or whatever. And then so when did you start? You started doing it a little bit more. When was that? Because now you're sitting at about 200,000 followers.
Generally I think it was around the Halloween one.
Around the Halloween one. Okay.
Because I put up...
Here we go, folks.
So I put up a couple in the summer of like just whatever. And then...
Last summer.
And then I had this idea that I told my sister. I'm like, because I'll tell you the honest truth. I thought I want to write for Oh my God, I can't even think of the Baroness von Sketch.
My God.
I was
if
like,
you're going to
I know,
shout out a
I
plug,
know, I'm so sorry.
you're going to have to do that
they're
again.
They're not even on the air anymore. But I thought, I'm going to send Baroness von Sketch a couple of clips that I think are hilarious. So I'm going to send these to them.
Right.
So I wrote it in my notes in my phone. Because one time, guys, I'll tell you a little secret story. One time I was working an event with a good friend of ours, Amanda. It was like a Junos event. No, it wasn't the Junos. It was something like that. Like a SOCAN Awards. Rick Mercer was hosting.
I remember that. Yeah.
And this other woman was hosting that was on what's the name of that sketch comedy show? Air Force?
Air Farce.
Is that what it was?
Farce. Yeah.
So she was on that. Right. So anyway, I was chatting with her. I was her handler that day, and I said something. She's like, that was really funny. Can I say that on stage? And I was like, yeah, for sure.
Damn, that was it.
And then she came up to me after the show, and she's like, listen, I'm writing a book. Would you write some jokes with me? And I was like,
I don't know this story at all.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm writing a book. Would you come and do some writing with me? Some like off the cuff comedy stuff. And I was like, yeah, for sure I will. So she emailed me, and she met me at the, not the Hunt Club, down on the lake shore, this private club. And we went in, and she bought me breakfast, and I sat down, and we just kind of like, I told her stuff that I was funny. She's like, this is the concept. What would you say? Right. So I spent like an hour with this woman kind of writing comedy stuff for her. And she paid me for it. And then, and that was amazing. So.
Do you have the book?
I don't have the book.
Did it come out?
I don't know. I've never even looked. I should see if my jokes are in there, actually.
What are you how could this have happened and you don't follow up? Do you have her phone number? Should we have her on here?
Isn't that crazy?
Connect into a very funny Canadian. We're not even gonna.
I know.
All right. Then.
So anyway, I thought I'm gonna give Baroness von Sketch these ideas because I think they're super funny. That never happened. So I was like, I have this idea for this Halloween. Maybe I'll try it. I'll do it. I'll do a Halloween skit. So that was one of them. Just everything that moms say on Halloween because it's ridiculous. The thank yous and the blah 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 and the spiels. So I made that one of my own. Very low. This is the first like skit. I'm making quotation marks for those people just listening.
That's all horrible. We don't need to describe that. Stop doing
that.
I
had tried to do. It was not well done. Like I didn't understand the editing of TikTok. But anyway, so I put this one up and it hit like 1 million pretty quickly.
Last Halloween, just so everyone knows timing wise. Last time, maybe about a week before Halloween.
Yeah. So it hit about 1 million, and I was like, oh, this is fun.
Right.
I like it. I like the positive reinforcement.
And at that point, I said, that's your niche. And she said, what? I said, your niche is like the grumpy, you love your kids, but you're slightly bitter that you have to take care of them all the time. Mom, like that's your thing. Your thing is the honest.
Yeah.
Kids can suck and they're boring and they're repetitive, but I love them to death. I would lie in front of railroad tracks for them, all of that stuff.
I just wasn't looking for a niche. I just didn't.
But that's it.
Yes, it is. In hindsight. In hindsight, it is. But I was like, I'm just going to put stuff up that I think is funny. Anyway, so then after that, I kind of put a little bit more consistency into it, but not a ton. Not a ton.
No, still not a ton.
Recently.
You're getting a little bit better now.
Yeah, I'm trying.
And you're doing the whole, what's your thing? Part 17? Things moms don't tell you or whatever?
In the summer, I was out in a park with my son. And,
right.
And
he's 3.
He's 3. And I decided to make a TikTok. Things I wish I knew about kids before I had kids.
There it is.
And I called it part 1. I didn't know if I was going to do any more of them. And that one exploded.
Right.
That one got like 8 million and a Daily Mail article. And that one just really...
She's very, very famous in
England. I'm really big at English.
Really big in England. She has that British kind of vibe going on where she... You know why?
My dad's from Ireland, that's why.
No, this is why. Because British people really get sarcasm because on that... And they get it. They get it. And they're also a little bit more stoic and tough. Like they're not like all cuddly and hugs and, oh, I just want to lie with my kid all the time and stroke her hair. Like... My grandma, when she says she loves me, she has to give me a bit of a push when she does it just to keep balance.
That's right.
And so that's why, because you got a bit of hate for that.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. For sure I did.
Right?
For sure.
And it's
a lot of people like,
horrible
kids are a blessing and na. And I'm like, oh, okay. All
Do you know how long I've tried to have a child?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much, know that if you made one of those comments, that's what I did. I went, okay.
We all did.
All right.
So you do this video, and then come Halloween time this year, what happens? Stacey Green Living?
We're just going right into it.
Well, let's go right, because I want to get to another side of TikTok, which I think like as we go, I want to get into everybody thinks TikTok is so manufactured. I don't think it is. I think it's a perfect reflection of who we are as a society. I'm going to talk about that after. So describe what happened.
So, just this past week, a friend of mine messaged me and she's like, what the hell is this? And I was like, what do you
I didn't
my
see
friends my friends are very ride or die. They are wonderful and very protective. She's like, what the hell is this? And she sends me this video of a woman doing my Every Mom on Halloween skit fairly verbatim.
Guys,
there was
listen.
one section she added in, but like,
Guys,
if you saw that video, you'd be like, have I seen this before?
I'm not gonna put the person down. We're not
No,
here
I'm
to
not gonna
blast
mention her
the
name.
person,
No.
whatever.
I truly,
It is
listen,
what it is, 'cause
I
it
do not think it
happens-
was intentional.
No.
I do not think she maliciously was like, ha ha ha. I'm
No,
not
she
gonna,
thought your video was funny,
For
and
sure.
she thought I'll do my own
for sure.
replicated version. Now, when I say it was identical, guys, it wasn't like, because everybody pulls stuff, right?
Absolutely. You can,
Everybody
I don't own
pulls
the
stuff,
concept. I
right.
do not own the trend. I
But
do not
guys-
own the concept of moms on Halloweens. That is no way, shape, or form what I
The
am saying.
camera angles were the same. The wink was the same. The dialogue was the same.
Mm-hmm.
The tonality was the same. Anyways, let's skip over that part, because at the end of the day, can you copy stuff on TikTok? Absolutely. Have a good time doing it, and that's all we do. It would have been better, in my opinion, if this woman had just used your sound and lip sync. But whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All you were thinking was, dude, could you at least said thanks, Stacey, for the
Script.
script,
Just-
or
yeah,
thank you,
absolutely.
you were really funny, here's my version. By the way, she had these picturesque mountains
Beautiful
in the
mountains.
back, which is, in my opinion, why hers got a little more traction. But
For
whatever.
sure.
So you wanted acknowledgement.
Just say, hey, this
Little
is
bit
where
of
I got the script. The video still would have gone viral.
Still would have.
It still would have been
100%.
exactly what it was
Yes.
without all of the negativity attached to it. That's the problem. Because when I said day of, hey, like I messaged her privately on Instagram and I was like, I love that you love my stuff. I love that you love this. I love that you redid it. However,
Right.
it looks like you created it yourself.
And,
so
and she knew that right away, right? She
Right
read
away.
that right away?
right away.
Day of.
Day of.
And
Possibly day of.
And
I
like
wrote it on
a
the
week
Sunday.
later, after all this attention got brought to it, she said something on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, kind of acknowledged, oh, I just found where I got this inspiration from. Like she'd just been, and this is the problem, right? The utter bullcrap
Yeah.
of the situation. If she would have been like, oh, you're right, I should have, and boom, put your name down,
would've
that
been
would have
done.
been done.
It would have been over. Or even messaged me or acknowledged me. Like I said, and I understand what this sounds like. Like if you are not on TikTok and it sounds like I'm just being a petty witch because hers went more viral than mine and I am envious. And listen, I am, to be honest.
100%.
Because
Yes, it was my idea. It was not just my idea. I wrote a movie. I didn't get the same funding. And then you guys went out and did it. And when I say funding, I mean those mountains in Utah or wherever the hell she was. I didn't get the same, picturesque landscape, but you used all my material and everybody. And there was, a lot of, let's say, bigger names that maybe respond.
huge names.
Look, we don't. I think if we go down this anymore, she could have an aneurysm. I think have some
No,
Starbucks.
I'm not. Listen, I'm really
Starbucks.
not because at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
all of this. So what happened was, I did not instigate any kind of anything. So I messaged her privately, and then I wrote one comment on the video, and I said, "Are we going to talk about it, or like, just what's up?" And then people
lost it.
as they do
On both sides.
On both sides.
On both sides,
On both
because you
sides.
had people coming out
They
swinging
still
for
are,
you,
Joanna. They still are.
and there was predominantly women. I mean, I guess I'm generalizing, but the ones I saw, predominantly women saying, there are some harsh comments where she's like, "Well, Stacey Green Living, she's way cuter,
Oh my God, totally. This gir's younger and cuter
She's
and better than
younger
you.
and
All
cuter
right.
and has a
It
better
doesn't negate
haircut."
the fact that this is my script. The reason you enjoy it is because of me.
What a horrible comeback. She's hot. Now, let's jump into the fact that that's kind of what happens in the real world, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who are perceived to be a certain way get more notoriety. They get more
shot
chances.
Way better. It was so beautiful.
It was so
the
beautiful.
Sound was better. Nobody is arguing that fact. But
Yeah.
you wouldn't have had a video if you didn't use mine.
This is
Is
true.
all that I'm saying.
This is
the
true.
reason that it was as good as it was is because of the script that you used from mine. So all you got to do is just a simple little tag.
Now, this reminds me of the whole, that Jeff Currett guy and Bella, that one?
No.
Does anybody know? Look, people are on listening to this going, what the hell did she just do?
You're nodding.
Bella, I don't know. She's this girl that bounces her head up and down and then does it to a very specific sound. And that's it. That's all she did. She got super famous. She bounced her head up and down. She shook her head. And that was it. And she got wicked famous. But another guy, this older dude, I'm sorry, Jeff. This older guy did it first. And he was constantly asking for credit. Right? And everybody's like, oh, you're such a, you're a horrible person, whatever. He's like, guys, I just want credit. She blew up because she watched something I did. Nobody's asking for money.
And replicated it.
Having said that,
Yeah.
I think there's some legal recourse. If this woman ever got to deal with, let's say Walmart.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
That would be,
She could have, though.
you would have a legal recourse.
I could.
In a lot of ways, right? Because then there'd be, at this point, you're just upset because she got the views, but
it's
if
not even,
you
I'm not
made
even upset
money,
that she got the views. It's just that, like, and somebody wrote, they're like, listen, she's doing it now. Your time is over. You can't.
Your time is over.
Yeah, your time is over. Dimming somebody else doesn't make yours better. Blah blah blah. And I rarely respond, but I responded and I was like, listen, she can light her light with her own matches, or let them know she borrowed mine.
Oh,
That's
I'm gonna
it.
put that on a shirt.
That's it.
I'm sorry.
Light your light with your own matches, or tell them you borrowed
Light
mine.
your light with your own matches, or
Like-
tell them you borrowed mine, guys. That's it.
But you know what I mean?
Why haven't you done that as a TikTok?
I don't know.
That's
I
your
just
TikTok.
wrote it as a comment.
That's your next TikTok.
But for real though,
Light
for
your
real,
light.
I am not trying to dim your light.
Bang
Not
on
even
my
at
desk.
all. And you lighting mine by tagging me would not have taken away from the situation at all. And again, I don't think that she did it. I don't think she had any idea that this was going to
she
turn
probably
into what it did.
Her account was tiny. She probably thought she was
sure.
going to get the same kind of views she always got.
For sure. She had like
it
8,000
is-
followers and now she has 50. Right? Like that's a fair jump.
That's a nice jump.
That's a fair jump.
That's a good jump.
But it is what it is.
So let's get into TikTok as a whole, because you've never been. Oh, I have had one or two videos taken down. Bullying and harassment tend to be the go-to for me because people write, usually homophobic. Sometimes,
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
bless you. Sometimes we're not going to edit that
Sorry,
out. That's
Sal.
how real this is. Sometimes transphobic. Sometimes whatever, coming at me because I'm a teacher or whatever. So I will then do a video response. I do it softly. I do it with a lot of huns. I do it with a lot of very calming, dulcet tones as to not provoke. Anyways, they get taken down. They get put back up. But I can get banned for that. Like, I can get banned for a few days. Now, you've never had anything banned.
I've never had anything banned.
Like, taken down.
When I respond to people, I usually do it satirically, or like I like to make them feel like an idiot in a roundabout way.
I thought that's what I was doing. You think it's a little more directed with me?
Well, I guess TikTok does.
I think it might be.
I guess TikTok does. So what are you going to do about that? But no, I have not, because really, to be fair, I am a straight presenting white woman you are pushing different envelopes than I am, right? Like, if people come across mine, they're going to just be like, whatever.
Yeah,
I do get a lot of
straight
Karens,
presenting.
guys. A lot.
This individual over here has a wife.
Straight presenting, yes. I do get a lot of Karens.
You do get a lot. Well,
A
that's
lot
because
of
that's your lane, right? You're in the lane with all the moms. And
I keep telling them it's Stacy. It's spelled differently. It's different letters. They don't get it. But I do, because, anytime I think, again, a straight presenting white woman stands up for herself or, doesn't like the way things are, people don't like it when I complain.
Right.
Because I don't have a leg to
They think
stand
they think everything's
I'm
shiny and new and
for sure.
entitled and yeah.
For sure.
Take your $4,000 stroller and be quiet.
That's right. You had your moment. Okay.
You had your moment. It was during colonization. So too far,
I guess.
So when we're looking at the bigger, and I spent a lot of time thinking about this, right? I'm thinking about like my stuff getting taken down. I've thought a lot about, and a lot of people are on TikTok, and if you're not on TikTok to understand this, a lot of individuals will get their whole accounts wiped. Like just boom, taken down for no reason, because a group of people have decided I don't like them, so they mass report, they get their videos taken down. And on TikTok works kind of robotically, obviously, because there's billions of members, so they just take stuff down, especially when there's any sort of significant complaints, right?
They'll act first and then
act first
ask
and
questions
maybe
after.
come back around later. But and that's the problem. But what we've seen on TikTok is a couple things. Number one, talking about your video getting copied, there's been huge controversy over every single dance that's ever been produced,
for sure.
coming predominantly from amazing African American dancers.
For sure. People of color they don't have the same privilege that I do, where people are, like people go to bat for me, and I feel like they do not have that.
Right, because it's like,
level.
because what's her name? Charlie D'Amelio? Like, all the love, have a good time with it. But you're not always coming up with the material,
Oh my
right?
God. Is she?
So
No.
I'm not even going to go down who's coming.
No.
Let's be honest, be aware of the fact that a lot of these things are being done by other people way before they're being done by the... And guys, it's super crystal clear. The white, pretty, privileged, very wealthy, who can do it in the front door of their $18 million house, individuals that are getting all the credit and all of everybody's copying their dances and yada, yada, yada. And so that's true.
Somebody said that about mine. They were like, listen, they like her because she's bubbly and her cute blonde hair. And I was like, is that? And then a friend of mine was like, oh, that's licensed to plagiarize. That's how that works. The reason she got away with it is because she's a white woman with
But
cute
there
blonde
it
hair
is.
and
I honestly believe when people say TikTok's broken, it ain't TikTok. I think it's us.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's true no matter where we go. Who gets to copy? Who gets to plagiarize? Who gets away with it?
For sure.
It is always the majority class. So on TikTok as well, you have a lot of trans accounts, a lot of gay accounts getting wiped.
Yeah.
They could have hundreds of thousands of and a lot of African American accounts, hundreds of thousands of viewers, if not millions, and their account will be, boom, shut off.
It's ridiculously unbalanced for any people of color, any kind of marginalized. They really get the S end of the stick. I'm really trying not to swear today.
The SN?
The S end.
The S end. I got
shiz
you.
end of the stick.
I got you. I got you. But here's the reality, and a lot of people are like, TikTok's racist, TikTok's transphobic, TikTok's homophobic. I honestly believe it is a perfect reflection of society.
For sure.
So I've been sitting at home going, why is it? And everybody's like, well, it's where TikTok comes from and who controls it, and they're sitting there doing the algorithm. I'm like,
that's not it
no,
at all.
they're not.
That's not it at all.
The billion or however many people they have are substantially weighted in the, in the category of white power, privilege, all of that kind of stuff. And guess what? It is their weight that gets to decide who gets mass reported, who gets taken down, how they get taken down. And I'm like, that is our society. So when we go blaming, I think it's just another amazing example, like this really physical example of how, sure, I look the way I do, so I usually do make some people off-put, angry. Usually it's guys, not always, who just feel the need. I've cut my hair a little too short. My pants are a little too baggy.
They don't like it, Joanna.
They don't like it.
They don't like it.
They don't like
it.
it.
They'll tell you about it.
And so I think it's very reflective of that. And in that case, what the hell do we do?
You know what? I feel like I didn't understand it before I was on it, and I'm not, I'm on it, but whatever. You are far more,
3 days, Stacey. 3 days. I put in the work.
You do. You really do. I try to explain it to other people because at face value, it's a fun little app, right? You scroll through it, it's funny, whatever. But there is this underbelly of just cruel, mean, awful people who say the most terrible things.
Absolutely.
Like almost daily now, I get people telling me that I'm hideous, that I'm old, grandma go home, you have skin cancer, why are you here?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is it because of this?
Because I have a birthmark. I have a birthmark, guys. Yeah, guys. Like daily. And if I was not who I am, that would really be awful.
Yeah.
Like thankfully I am a thick-skinned adult woman who's like, you're a loser. But there is a very mean undercurrent of people who just troll. All they do is they don't watch a video. They'll watch the first 3 seconds of a video and then just say anything that they think is going to make you feel terrible.
Yeah.
Truly. Like they're so if you are not prepared for that, you just can't read the comments. And I don't know, I think it's when you hit a certain level. And again, I'm by no means any kind of successful
Well, it gets pumped out
TikToker,
more.
but I find that my TikToks, whenever they go above maybe 250,000 views, the first ones, you know, they feed it out to your followers. They feed it out to your, maybe your hashtags, people that like you. They're like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so funny. La, la, la. It's all positivity. And then when you hit a certain level on the For You page, it's like you get everything.
Yeah.
Every possible evil person. A bunch of them are 15-year-olds sitting at home. A lot of them are middle-aged men in Alabama. Sorry,
well,
Alabama.
they're all sorry, Bama. I like Bama. I have a lot of good followers from Bama. But the reality is it's usually user bunch of numbers with no content, no picture, no anything, and that's the person that can sit with anonymity.
Absolutely.
And here is the, you know, there's two things though. It's weird because I'm kind of drawn to it and I kind of like it because I know that sounds very odd, but
I think it's because you're a teacher.
Because I want to know.
Work in a high school and you're used to that microcosm of all these different kinds of.
Yeah, and I'm tired of us pretending like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's stop pretending that racism, that bigotry, that homophobia, transphobia, sexism, all of this stuff doesn't actually exist. And when you open it up and you allow people to say crap anonymously, you really get to know who they are. You know?
My God, for sure.
Like those boys that like to wear those really tall pointed hats. They like to do that because their face was covered.
I have watched some Black creators that I follow put up comments and I cannot, but like I believe it, but it's just, I cannot believe some of the things that are said to these people. It's like I have stepped back into 1945.
There we go.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And this is every day, but I don't think that people think, it's not a real problem. Racism is not a real problem.
Step into TikTok for 5 minutes.
Be a Black creator, step into TikTok, or go to a Black creator's account. Like, it is, yeah, sure, people tell me I have cancer, but like, I don't think they want me to die. Like, people, awful.
People are awful.
Awful, awful, awful. And I was not prepared for that. Like, I was prepared for it. I was prepared for, like, people to not like my stuff. And if you comment on my stuff and it's something that you don't like or whatever, I'm not going to delete your comment. Like, I don't care. Okay, say whatever you want. But, like, some of them you have to. Like, some of them I have to block.
Yeah. I mean, I spend a lot of time on live. And when I'm on live, sometimes I get, sometimes you get people that are in your lives, except for the Neil Patrick Harris troll. That was awesome. But you get people in your lives that just repetitively cut and paste the same idiocy. I get a lot of, are you a boy or a girl? I don't know if they think that's insulting or whatever. I just ignore it. And my question is, why do you want to know? And I just ignore it. And a lot of people are like, why don't you have a moderator? I'm like, because I like to know the idiots. I like
yesterday
to see
when I was
them.
on the live with you, someone was like, look at you, wah, 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 you're sad because she's more popular. And I'm like, oh my God. On my side.
On your side. I'm like, more popular.
More the other one. But like, it's just nonsense. It's just nonsense, guys.
But I think I honestly do believe it's vital nonsense. Do you know, like when I stepped into doing this, fine, I was doing winks and Stacey wouldn't even, she's like, can you warn me when you're going to wink in your TikTok? Because I can't watch it. Guys, I have a cute wink. I don't understand what your problem is.
I was not prepared.
But once it built up and something political slipped out of my mouth and then I went, oh, this is so much more fun. The inundation I got, from a lot of different people. Now I try really hard not to have moderators because I want to see those comments because I think it's important to see them. And once in a blue moon, I win one over. And I know that sounds silly. A lot of people are like, oh, just block them, haters, yada, yada, yada. But in my head, I think two things. Number one, how crappy is your life? Like your life.
Oh, for sure.
Your life has to be garbage.
For sure.
Right? You have to be sitting at home in your mom's basement, never had a boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever you want to date. And
for sure.
Your job sucks and whatever. And you're sitting home scrolling.
Hurt people.
Well,
Joanna.
yeah. And I don't, it sounds ridiculous, but I don't.
No, it's true.
It is so true. Or they're uneducated.
Absolutely. There's a high level of ignorance.
Right?
And I don't mean ignorance like stupid. I mean ignorant like they legitimately don't know. They just don't know.
They don't have somebody, like, obviously, I present very gay. Some people believe me to be trans, which, I'm not, but whatever. I guess we'll have the trans conversation another day. But they come at, and all I want to do is talk, or they'll talk to me about critical race theory, or they'll talk to me about teaching strategies or my personal views or whatever. And I'll keep talking to them. And a lot of my followers are like, oh, just block them, block them, block them. I'm like, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute to see
If you can do it, yeah.
if I can gently pull them.
But
right?
that's what the benefit of your account, right? I feel like you are legitimately educating people. That's what you do. I think that's what you try to do in a way that's like, maybe you're responding to a loser that commented something, but behind it, is education. I think you're legitimately trying to teach people something or maybe change their minds. Whereas I am not so much trying to teach people. So it's trickier for me to not respond.
Yeah,
because I'm
100%.
quicker to block because it's not like I'm going to sit down and be like, listen, I know you think this, and here's why the opposite. Like, I don't care to.
No.
I'm not trying to convince you or defend myself. Whereas you are like dealing with legitimate theories and issues and things that you may possibly be able to sway them. But I'm not gonna convince Cheryl down there that.
Cheryl's the new Karen.
I'm not petty about blah blah blah. For what? Like my character, I'm not going to defend my character.
Right.
Why? For what?
But I also I also look at this as a microcosm, but then I'm also sitting there going, how do we facilitate any kind of change? Because what I do think, and I still think this, and I'm not going to go down an anti-vax road, but just let me use it as an example. Please don't. We'll fight about anti-vax in another podcast. But I feel like using the anti-vax as an example, it is a very small minority who are wicked loud.
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm wondering if TikTok, again, is the same microcosm of that meaning. Because I have amazing people on my account, right? Who don't even know me.
For sure. I know I'm saying terrible things, but there truly are. The majority of the people
there's the thing.
Are very kind, and they're very sweet, and they legitimately are like, oh my God, you're the best, you're so funny, la la la, whatever, which is so lovely.
Yeah.
It really is.
Or if they don't find you funny.
But just like, for sure.
Who doesn't find Stacey Green Living funny? Then you can just scroll by.
Absolutely.
And you can go to the next comedian, in Utah, that you think's funnier.
For sure.
So
you don't have to give a shot on the way by.
Right.
Be like, you're not even funny and you're old.
Yeah. But I think that's important. I think that's important to talk about because it's all social media. We're talking specifically about TikTok, but I think it applies to Twitter. I think it applies to Instagram. Apparently, some people are still on Facebook. It applies to Facebook. It applies to Facebook. Oh
my God, I think it's terrible on Facebook.
Absolutely. When the really loud minority is occupying all the space because nice, healthy, mature, amazing individuals just don't say anything.
It's true. That's how I feel. So I did put up a TikTok a couple days ago, maybe 4 or 5 days ago now, kind of explaining this Halloween thing. And at the beginning of it, I said, I was really upset when I found out. Like, it sucked. It sucks when you're not given the credit that you should be if you created something, and I was bummed about that. But then I was scrolling and I saw a TikTok about cancer, and in that moment I was like, oh my God, like you got to get your priorities straight, right? Like, this isn't a real problem, really, right? Like, yes, fine, but no, it's not a real problem. There are bigger issues that I have going on, nor should I give it the energy. So I put up that TikTok. If people watched all the way through, it was like 1 minute and 4 seconds. Like,
it's too long, Stacey.
7
seconds.
So
Anna always tells me 7 seconds.
Truly, all the way through, they were like, you know what? Great perspective shift. I really love what you said. La 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 la. Most people just they watched maybe 15. It was 9% of the video they watched. So whatever that comes out to. And they would just write ridiculous things.
Right.
Like, you're petty, you're blah, 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 blah. Or maybe she didn't know. Maybe she didn't know. So I started at the beginning being like, she knew. Right. She commented about it on Facebook. So I started, I'm like, I'm just going to correct these ones, right? Just so people know what I'm saying here. Like, I'm going to try. But it's like, it's exhausting to go over and over and over to try to convince. So eventually I just gave up. And I was like, how long do I do this? How long do I defend myself for? How long do I try to convince, again, Cheryl. In Illinois.
Cheryl.
That, this is not my intention.
Illinois now.
Maybe sorry, Alabama. But you know what I mean? So so I tried for a little bit to kind of recalibrate and recorrect and readjust, but how long do you do that for?
Right.
When do you stop? When is it just like, all right. So I've stopped now. I'm outside of this podcast.
Outside of this
no, I mean responding to them.
Yeah. Well, I think, and a lot of people like it's just a TikTok. Guys, I mean, I want you to understand what can happen from TikTok.
Totally.
Everybody says it's just a TikTok. But there are
Absolutely.
people where their lives have been changed.
Drastically.
Like they have modeling contracts, acting jobs.
Totally.
Call Me Chris got a show?
Who? Yes.
Call Me Chris. I mean, these individuals,
Totally.
there's one guy used to be living in his car, Angry Reactions. He's now
Yes.
going to university.
Totally.
Totally
it can be
changed.
life-changing.
You know, so when people are like, it's nothing, well, God.
Those are the people that are not creating, though. It's
It
easy
is.
for you to sit on
There
your
you
couch when
go.
you're watching the Olympics and be like, loser, when they fall. But what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you, those are the people
What
that,
are you
and maybe
doing?
you don't want this to be
Short
something
track
for you.
speed skaters.
Maybe you don't want this to be something for you, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind seeing where it could go,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, so it's cool for you to be like, it's not a big deal. Yes, it's not really, but it could be.
It could be. It absolutely could be.
It could be.
Like, you know, you get certain comments coming and then all of a sudden you have a brand deal. All of a sudden you have a
For sure.
commercial. All of a sudden you have this or that. I mean, outside of the product sort of sponsorship things, let's put that aside. There are real, genuine opportunities.
yeah.
And it's this amazing way to get around, and I'm going to say this, but it's not true for all communities on TikTok as we've just stipulated. But it is potentially a great way to get around gatekeepers, right?
Totally.
I don't have to sit and audition in a room to the same three white guys to get the Dove commercial while they tell me my nose is too crooked, as it is.
Oh my goodness.
Or where they tell me I'm too old or I shouldn't look so gay or whatever.
Yep.
Because what TikTok allows you to do is build a following. And then guess what? All those old white Christian dudes have to get on board because they're like,
you create
damn
your
it,
own market. You can create your own market.
damn it, she's going to make money
Yep.
and I'd rather it be with us.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
that matters.
It does matter. It does, and it doesn't matter for everybody, but it matters to me and it matters to you, and it matters obviously to that person that, you know, used my stuff. So that's why it's important. That's why it can be important.
Yeah.
And it's not always, but
Well,
I know and it does. If you don't know what we're talking about, it does sound ridiculous to even be having this conversation.
but okay, let me apply it to something else, right? Like the music industry. The music industry has drastically changed. Why? Well, because you don't have to go sit in that label's office anymore
Totally.
to get a deal.
Totally.
You can have your own website, you can produce your own stuff with freaking GarageBand in your basement, and you can put it up there. And if you garner a following, Sony's going to be knocking at your door,
Absolutely.
or Warner, or Universal, and all of a sudden, the really crappy deals where it was a 360 deal and we're taking your firstborn become much different.
Yep.
Right? Totally different. You
sure.
don't need, you have product sponsorships, you have clothing lines, you have
Yep.
all of this stuff. You know, I think Drake was an early example of that. How he just, nobody saw, like he just took Toronto and now he did have Degrassi, but he took Toronto and he did what he did with it. No label did that for him.
No.
So I love it because it's really, and if we look at the industry, like it's taking away that gatekeeper kind of thing. Same with art, right? I look at TikTok. You know how many artists I've seen on TikTok and I'm like, holy crap.
Oh my God, totally. An incredible talent that I would never have had access to.
The only
ever.
The only way we see art before this, you know, obviously is going randomly searching it up throughout the scouring the thousands and thousands of pages on the internet. I think that would be more millions. I'm pretty old. Or
At least 2,000.
At least 2,000 pages. Or you go to the AGO. I love the AGO. Absolutely
That is
love
a
it.
very curated group of artists that are being shown.
Somebody decides
Totally.
who gets it, why they get it,
Totally.
right? So this is bypassing that. The key is, though, I really do believe that people just need to have a bigger voice. So, and I'm I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Responsible for not commenting enough.
Commenting?
Yeah, because I don't know how much you comment on other people's videos, but I'm trying to make it a conscious effort now
Yeah,
to
to
do that
engage.
because I spend so much time creating.
Yeah.
I do this. I obviously have an actual job. But if I'm not being loud and nice
Totally, yeah.
or supportive, and I'm sitting here having this conversation with you, then I'm not doing my part, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean when I was saying I started to comment on that video because I can't, because in my head, I'm like, don't let it bother you. Don't say anything, whatever. But that's not pushing any needle forward, you know?
Right.
Like, that is not changing anything.
Right.
So maybe I do have to be uncomfortable and comment a little bit on that stuff to kind of redirect.
And then comment on
mentality.
things. Yeah, and then comment on things that are great.
And things that I love, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? You know how many things like make me laugh?
Oh my God.
And make me friggin', well, besides all the, first of all, I need everybody to know that every day, probably 2-3 times a day, Stacey sends me the worst of what TikTok has to offer. Stuff that makes people have nightmares.
How many millions of people are there on TikTok?
That I watch like backing up a little bit, but I can't help but watch the whole thing.
Just terrible.
She's really messing with my analytics because I sometimes get that.
But they make me laugh.
It's horrible.
But
And it's early in the morning, Stace.
You
Like,
also need to, I for sure need to comment on stuff that is clever and, you know,
I think
intelligent and
we need to be louder. So this kind of rolls into what just happened, and I want to talk about this real quick, even though it's obviously a bigger conversation. But it's the power of social media. It's the power of going viral. It's the power of not having gatekeepers and showing that bigotry and oppression and colonization and all these things that kept people in their place. I would use air quotes, but I think they're ridiculous. Keep people in their place doesn't exist. So you saw that viral video of the woman teaching to her math class?
I did not.
No, excuse, what? Do you watch my TikToks at all?
I don't. What do you mean? Was it one you put up?
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't the woman in the classroom.
Okay.
It was a math teacher in California who fashioned an indigenous headdress.
Oh no.
Oh, wait for it, Stace. Let me explain it to you.
Presently, this was recently.
This just happened.
Oh.
So she danced around. She put this headdress on. She then was teaching her class SOHCAHTOA. And I said calculus, but it's algebra. I've had a lot of people correcting me
That's
on the
algebra,
type
Joanna.
of math it is.
Sine, cosine.
Sine,
Tan,
cosine,
tan,
tan.
cosine, 3.14159.
What is that? You should send that to the school in California so they can stop with the native headdress
I'm pretty
thing.
sure that's The Simpsons. I did not come up with that.
See? Stacey likes to credit,
Yeah,
even when it's
credit.
Matt Groening's idea.
There you go.
All right. Anyways, she gets in front of her math class, and it's not just the headdress. She chants SOHCAHTOA,
Oh no.
pretends to throw she actually says the word tomahawk. She
did not see this
dances
at
and
all.
chants. Oh, I'll show you. She dances and chants all over her classroom.
No.
And anyway, so one student, and you can see the kids. The kids are sitting there, like laughing, like uncomfortably. Some kids are putting their heads down in their desk, but one kid is obviously filming her
Right.
at this point.
Yeah.
So it's 2021,
Yep.
and some kid films her, catches it, it goes viral, and then she gets suspended. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're all caught. Rightly so. Then I start doing a little bit of investigation. I'm like, I want to see what the reports are saying. I want to see where this high school is. I want to see. Anyways, somebody found somebody who's in that school pulled their yearbook from 2012,
Okay.
10 years prior. And it's a picture of her wearing the exact same outfit. You can tell she's chanting because her mouth is wide open. And the side caption in their yearbook says, "This is a mnemonic device for me to help kids commit things to memory about math." I'm like, woman, that's not what you're committing to their memory. For 10 years, it's been going on at this school. And I'm going to guess longer. That's
For
just
sure.
proof.
For sure.
Meanwhile, the school says, horrible. This does not represent the kind of institution we run here. It doesn't represent
But
our...
it's in the yearbook.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you just got caught.
So how is... And again, I want that virality. Is that a word? Virality?
Yep.
I
It
want
sure
it-
is.
It is now. I want that to sure, make her responsible, but when you put it in your yearbook,
Yeah.
John West North School in California,
Yeah.
now that's on your
a hard
entire
copy, baby.
administrative body.
Yeah. for
Now
sure.
that's on the community. And I've heard all these other horror stories about that particular community. Now it's on that community. Now that 30-second video and the bravery of that one kid, because obviously, apparently it's a pretty high indigenous area as well, which is, I don't know if it's, I mean, I can't imagine how many Native kids have sat in that class and been
watch
too
this happen,
afraid
for sure. Yeah.
and too, destroyed by the power dynamic that exists to say anything. And they just sat there.
For sure.
And then this kid had the, whatever, the wherewithal, the strength, the whatever, to actually film it and then post it. But again, they're washing their hands out of her. But at this point now, we've passed the gatekeeping side, right? Because the gatekeeping side was that school, right? Was that community. And this is what the internet can do.
Yep.
That's what TikTok, I think they posted on Facebook first. I said Instagram, but that's what they can do. So when we are louder than every other horrible individual, and there's way more of us, then everything changes.
It can, and I think that's the whole point, right? It has the potential to be something really positive, and it can be something that like does advocate for change. But again, like you said at the very beginning, full circle,
I love it when that happens.
It's us that does it. It's us that's creating the negativity, or it's us that's creating the positivity. It's us that, drawing attention and shining light on people of color and Black people's issues. It's us that's supporting the trans people. It's us that's doing it. So
everybody that wants to blame Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever as being the thing, the algorithm, the whatever is broken. Like a lot of people are talking about the Facebook thing, right? And how the algorithm secretly gives you more divisive and disturbing content. Well, that's because we respond to it.
It's like attracts like. You are seeking that out, bro. Like you are being shown, and that's the thing that you were talking about. I send you those terrible things, and then you get more of them.
Horrible.
That's what happens. If you are seeking out racist, homophobic, misogynistic, whatever the ism is, you will be shown more of that, and then it just turns into this mushroom cloud of.
And Facebook is making money on the things they can make money of. We should really be looking at ourselves because they're just capitalizing. Yeah. They're just capitalizing. They're not creating it. They're just like, oh, cool. They like it when somebody says something horrifically homophobic. Great. It's how half the United States elected a president, for crying out loud.
I watched this one creator. I know we're running out of time, but I watched this one creator. She started a fake account, like her own random account, nothing, completely clean, and she wanted to see how long it took for her to get neo-Nazi content. So she started liking different things that were, racist and very specifically kind of neo-Nazi, that mentality. And she's like, and it was nothing. It took like 3 days for her to be inundated with this kind of stuff. And she's like, but then they started to notice that once she got shown that, she was shown misogynistic stuff. She was shown anti-trans stuff. She was shown all of those kind of things were feeding into each other. So it does not take much for you to be shown that stuff, right? It's what you're seeking out. But
I did a TikTok not too long ago after the whole Facebook thing, and the whistleblower came out and she said, this is what we're doing. And I'm like, was this news? You just lost this isn't news that Facebook does this. And I was just thinking like, of course, but that's what always happens. And I said, if it bleeds, it leads. And half the people on Facebook, because I'm so old, are like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
That is an old one.
And it's just the notion that if it's violent, if it's cataclysmic,
if there's smoke, there's fire.
You're going to put it at the front of your news story on CNN, on Fox. It doesn't even matter. We don't even care which one. Nope. You're going to put it at the head, right? We watched O.J. Simpson in a Bronco for like 37 hours.
Totally.
And the whole country was glued to that screen.
It stopped.
Why?
We stopped our grade. I was in grade 9 when that happened, and it stopped. Sorry. And it,
so rude.
And it was like 4. And it stopped the whole school.
Yeah.
Like it stopped everything.
Yeah.
We sat there watching because it was
that was it.
Sensationalism.
Absolutely, but it's always been there. So why we think Facebook is going to be any different, but I think the key is, and I know we got to wrap it up, but I think the key is the people that are intelligent and amazing and compassionate and all of those things, you have to comment more.
You do. TikTok loves the drama. They are not going to do it for you.
Yes.
Do you know how many people I had comment? They're like, oh my God, that's so weird that I'm seeing your video. I just saw the Halloween run right before
TikTok's
it. I'm
this is gold.
Isn't that convenient that this just happened to be right after each other? Because it's creating a stir, right? It's creating 100%. Comments and interaction, and that's exactly what they want.
Right. Well, I think we solved all life's problems in this 45
we could talk about
minutes.
This for 7 hours.
I think we're good. We'll send this off to, I don't know, the CRTC. Is that still a thing? Do we have a CRT? Do you know what the CRTC is?
The Canadian Radio Television.
Yeah, I know. Send that off.
I know all the acronyms.
I know.
I know all the acronyms.
I know, and whoever's in charge of it. I don't think think I can ever say that term again without thinking about that horrific.
I truly
individual.
haven't seen that video.
Yeah, I'm going to show you after. It's
All right.
horrible.
Lucky
It's going to
me.
burn into your memory. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Stacey Green Living. That's
My
on
pleasure.
Stacey Green Living on all platforms. Facebook,
No,
TikTok.
I'm not on Facebook.
You are.
I'm
You said
not. I just deleted it 2 days ago.
Good for you. Forget you, Mark.
Instagram
All right.
and
Instagram and TikTok, Stacey Green Living.
thanks, Joe.
Thank you very much and have a great day, guys. See you tomorrow. Dismissed.